Hello and welcome back. We are on lesson 69. So, lesson 69 says, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. So, your grievances act like a thick fog, covering up the light that is already within you. When you hold on to resentment, judgment, or past pain, you block your ability to experience, as we said, peace, joy, and divine love. But here's the truth, nothing outside of you can truly take away your light. Only your decision to hold on to grievances can, and thinking that other people can take it away from you when they can't. Nobody can take what this is the thing, this is what the ego does. It creates separation, but nobody can take anything from you, anything, because you never experience from your core, you can never lose anything because you are everything. We're not going to go too deep into that though, because me and Karina could talk about that a lot. So when it comes down to the light of the world, what does that mean? That means it's the divine essence within you. It's your natural state, as we've spoke about before, pure love, peace, joy, your abundant nature. It's the part of you that is eternal, beyond fear, beyond attack, beyond your grievances, beyond separation. And so I want you to think that, as we spoke about before, the essence of who you really are is the sun. And these grievances are just dark clouds, that cover the sun. But it doesn't mean that the sun's not there, even at night. Right, this is what blows my mind as well. Even at night, the sun is still there. Even in the pitch black, the sun is still there. It doesn't change the sun itself. It doesn't change the sun itself, even though appearances may seem, that it's dark, that it's cloudy, that it's rainy, that it's miserable. The sun is always there, shining bright, and it goes the same for you and your true essence. And so, as we've said previously in many of the lessons, the ego thrives and survives on keeping you small and separate and trapped in fear, away from your true nature. And one thing I wanted to add is every grievance you let go, which I just love this, every grievance you let go of brings you closer to your true essence. So even if, like I said in the previous lesson, you're finding resistance around letting go, you can almost see it as you're letting go for yourself. If there's a burden, or if there's something that someone's done to you that you're really struggling to let go of, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you, so that you can get closer to the essence of who you really are. Forgiveness isn't about excusing others, like Karina said, it's about setting yourself free.
Yeah. Exactly like Sammy said with the sun and clouds. I love that analogy all the time. And I'm just gonna add the exact same analogy, but with a different visual, the exact same image, but with a different visual, just because I used it in the past. And that we talked about that really bright spotlight already, right? So the sun is the same thing, the sun and the clouds, that really bright spotlight. And if you put something in front of it, it's gonna block the spotlight, but the spotlight is still shining in that full force. Where you have that spotlight inside of you, and the grievances act like that thing blocking it, just like Sammy said with the sun and the clouds. So that's just like two different visuals that you can use to look at it. But in both visuals, I like the sun one better actually, because the light's so powerful and always flowing, right? It can never run out. Well, it can, but that's a whole different thing. But the sun in you is infinite and can never run out. That infinite shining light of love that flows through and out of you can never run out. It's infinite and eternal. And the only thing that makes it seem like it's not there are your own little clouds that you're placing in front, your own little obstacles that you're placing in front. And it's illusion. It's illusion. And so, on my notes, your grievances act like a veil. They act like the clouds. They act like that block that blocks the light of truth that's within you. Every time you hold on to a grievance, anger, resentment, judgment, you cover up your own awareness of love and peace. So it's not just about radiating love and peace out into the world, it also covers up your ability to see it. So you start seeing it as a hateful world, as a harmful world, as a evil world, as a, dog eat dog world, those type of things, as a, people call this like a prison world, or a world where like we're meant to come and suffer. Well, the only reason people see it like that is because when you block that fountain of love coming out from you, you're going to see what you're putting out. So you're going to see the love and peace blocked on the outside too. You're not going to see it being reflected back to you. You're not going to see that love and peace in the world. You're going to see an extreme version of the blocks, of the grievances that you're putting out into the world, that you're holding on to in yourself, in your heart. So you don't need to create light. This is something that, some teachers talk about, you know, really create that light, really create that love, really like, find it somewhere, create it, but you don't need to. It's already there. It's already there in an infinite power that you can't possibly even imagine. So you don't need to create the light. You don't need to create the love. You just need to get to remove the barriers to seeing it, to experiencing it, to feeling it, and seeing it reflected back to you. Grievances are mental blocks that make you forget your very true nature. The ego loves grievances because it keeps the illusion of separation real. Imagine the person that you hate the most in this world. That very hate for that person, instead of that very feeling you have towards that person, is a huge invitation and huge thing that your ego keeps you trapped in the illusion of separation, because you don't see that person as you. You see that person as a separate person to whom you have grievances against. So it is the biggest invitation that keeps you in separation from from what, well, that keeps you in the belief of separation from what actually is all one, which actually is all love and peace. So forgiveness truly drops the veils of illusion. It truly gets you to start to dissolve those veils of illusion and come back home to your true nature and truly see that oneness, truly dissolve separation, truly dissolve the invitations back into suffering as well. Allowing your light to shine, allowing that peace to shine, and allowing that love to shine. And and you know, the thing about forgiveness, here's something I want to say that I'm not sure if it's mentioned in this. It's not really mentioned in this lesson, but I always emphasize this when I teach A Course in Miracles. So forgiveness, I want to emphasize the whole book, A Whole Course in Miracles. Yes, it's about forgiving other people. Yes, it's about tapping back into your true nature. Yes, it is about knowing the infinite fountain of love, the infinite spotlight of love, the infinite sun of love available in you. But I really want you to see and understand that ultimately it comes back to forgiving yourself. Because any grievances you hold against anything or anyone out there is actually a grievance that you're holding against yourself as well. So the whole Course in Miracles is a lesson in forgiving yourself. And that dissolves illusion. That dissolves the belief in separation. That dissolves the belief in something other than love and peace and God. And so the reason I bring that up is because as you're going through these practices, we're talking about forgiveness and not holding grievance, and you find yourself like, oh, well, I'm struggling to forgive this person or that situation, or I'm struggling to forgive, or I find myself still holding grievance, there can be an invitation or an inclination to start then blaming yourself. I can't drop this illusion. I can't drop this feeling of resentment. I can't drop this. I'm never going to be free. I'm never going to see my true nature. I'm never going to whatever. And then you start having grievances against yourself. So I want you to remember that this can take practice, that, you know, it's okay if you slip up. It's okay if you find yourself accepting the invitation back into having a grievance. As long as you come back to self-forgiveness and then remind yourself your function is love and forgiveness. And in that process of doing that, in that process of forgiving yourself first, and then, just keep tapping into these lessons again and again, you will find it easier and easier, to the point where it doesn't even need to be a practice anymore, because it's just who you truly are, and it truly is your normal natural function. Okay, so for how to practice this, for again, about minimum 5 minutes up to 15 minutes, Close your eyes and repeat, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. And then sink inward again, beyond all thoughts and mental distractions, and attempt to move into a space of pure awareness. In that space of pure awareness is pure love and pure forgiveness. Well, it's not even forgiveness because it is the result of the forgiveness. The forgiveness is the bridge. And then on the hour, if and when any, on the hour, hourly, remind yourself in response to any grievances, this grievance is blocking my light. I choose to let it go. And then throughout the day, if you notice any judgment or any grievances, just remind yourself this is not worth hiding my peace and my light. And that's it for me.
I love that. I love that because when you were talking about, and that's the thing that you need to understand, because you're still not in love if you're in the state of forgiveness, because you haven't forgiven and therefore you're not back in your true nature. So if you're in the, oh, I'm forgiving, I'm trying, like you're still not there. There would be nothing to forgive because it would already be forgiven, right? So this really is an invitation to reclaim. And I like to say to reclaim and awaken to your power, right? Because it really is. You're connecting back to the true power of who you really are. And so this is giving up everything, all the illusions, all the limitations to get back to that. So that's it from me and Karina, and we will see you tomorrow.